Straight Different with Dr. Wolf, the Change Agent.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening. Sitting here looking at the ocean. Isn't that something? That I can actually sit and talk with you all while I'm looking at the sun headed toward the sunset. Whoops. Sorry about that. I wanted to share some of the things that are going on today with me and the work that I'm doing. I just got back from what we call a continuation high school here in California. These are kids who can't attend regular high school any longer. For some reason or another, they've been asked to go somewhere else. It's kind of like last chance hotel for them to get a high school diploma. And the vision, as some of you know, is to teach emotional intelligence as curriculum. Taming Your Anger with Emotional Intelligence is the title of my program. And so we're teaching it to the whole school now. It's pretty exciting. So now there's about 100 kids in the school. And everybody in the school now understands how to take what I call an EQ breath. EQ is emotional intelligence, which is inhale slowly, 2, 3, pause, count to 3 heartbeats, and exhale, 2, 3, and pause, and count 3 heartbeats, and inhale, 2, 3, and so on. They all know that. And so what we're doing now is we're introducing it to the other classrooms. And there is the sound of a bell that has become the signal to take an EQ breath. The bell sounds like this. So when the kids hear the bells, they take a breath, and all the teachers have bells. And the idea is to teach the kids in school that they can develop control of themselves at any time. It's a pretty exciting experiment. And we just announced the Taming Your Anger with Emotional Intelligence poster contest. And that has to do with the vision, so that the teenagers are going to make posters around the vision, which is to reduce violence, that the school is going to stand for a vision to reduce violence and increase emotional intelligence, one person at a time, beginning with ourselves and passing it on. That's the vision statement, and they're going to make posters. And the homeroom, with what's judged to be the best poster, I'm going to bring in breakfast for these kids, for the whole, classroom. Some of them don't get to eat food before they come to the school. They may get some food at school. But the idea is to have a school of kids who decide we want to reduce emotion, we want to reduce anger expression in our school as part of what we do in this school. I'm very excited about that. And we'll be doing it for another couple of months. The teachers will start doing it now in the classrooms. And it's exciting to think that curriculum could include emotional development as part of curriculum, not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. And as I say to the kids, you can go to the best school.
While we're waiting to get Doc back, let me play you a tune real quick. You're on Shrink Different on TFOK Radio. We'll be right back. Back on Shrink Different with Doc Wolf.
All right, you lost us for a moment. So I was talking about how exciting it is to think that we could teach about emotional intelligence as curriculum to these kids, and any kids. These are the kids at the bottom of the barrel, what the culture has to provide. They come from gang, drug, poverty.
That's everything.
There's some background noise here for me. Hello. We'll see what happens because we're going to do some research on it, and I think that we should be able to teach these kids, and we should include emotional intelligence to avoid negative consequences and to increase the quality of personal relationships. Then there's the business with the veterans. And I've taught a group called Vet to Vet, peer counseling group. The method, they're offering it to veterans at no cost and their families in the West Los Angeles Public Library on Wednesday evenings. If you know any veterans in the area that would like to benefit, please send them over. And I'm looking for another one or possibly two non-profit veteran organizations who would like to learn how to teach this method to their participants in their program. So have them contact Mr. J over here at TFOK to get in touch with me. If you know somebody in a non-profit veterans organization in Los Angeles who wants to share this with veterans and their family, I want to provide that training for them. If you're listening and you're a counselor, you could think about providing the training where you're working. Training people how to develop a new habit in response to the signal of anger. We talked about creating new habits today over at the school. And I told them it takes, there's about 5 or 6 different things you need to develop a new habit. The first one is you need a vision. You have to decide, okay, I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that, or I want to stop smoking, or I want to, something that you can envision yourself doing, like learning to tame my anger. I want to not erupt when I'm angry. You have to have the vision. Okay. The second thing is you have to believe that you can accomplish it. So you have to believe in yourself. I can do that. I can learn how to do that. Other people did it. I can learn how to stop smoking cigarettes. I can do that. So the first is a vision. The second is a belief. The third is a method. You need a method that you can use in order to accomplish your goal. Because if you don't have a method of some kind, then you're just bouncing along. And it's not as likely that you'll succeed without a method. Like if you want to stop smoking cigarettes, maybe you get a nicotine patch. Or maybe you have one of these new air inhaler cigarette things. You have a method. The next thing is, this is where the emotional intelligence part comes in. You need willpower. You got to have willpower. Because you're still going to want to keep doing the thing that you said you wanted to stop. And even though you said that you wanted to learn something, you're still vulnerable to not following through on yourself. And so, let's say willpower is the ability for you to act in accordance with your own intention. In spite of the fact that there are thoughts and feelings and body sensations that you have which can cause you to sabotage your own intentions. Now we're in the realm of emotional intelligence again. So again, the first one is vision. You got to have you have to identify what you want. Second is the belief that you can do it. The third is a method, and the fourth is willpower. Now, what is it that's going to challenge your willpower? It's going to be these unconscious thought, feelings, and sensations and attitudes that keep you doing the same old thing. I call them saboteurs, as you know. We've talked about it before. How in normal human development, we develop protective patterns of personality. I call them characters at the table. We form these characters as protectors for ourselves because we have to protect ourselves from the vulnerability that happens in the loony bin that we're raised. I told this to the kids in school today. I said, everybody's raised in a loony bin. Everybody shook their head. Yeah. We're all raised in a loony bin of some kind or another. And then I said, you develop these basic characterological patterns way before you're 5 years old. As a matter of fact, there are some schools of thought that talk about character formation in terms of character disorders, personality disorders, that it's about 2 years of age, that's a developmental shift that happens. So what does that mean? How do we develop these characters in the loony bin? So, okay, one boy said, well, look, my father's a dick, he said. He's punitive, he's rigid, he's got a lot of rules, he yells a lot. I'm not going to be like that. So how do you learn? And I told him, that's a great question. That's a great question. What do you learn? What do you learn if your father is a dick and he's over-controlling and demanding and on your case all the time and watching you? And one kid stands up and he said, well, you learn discipline. I said, that's true. You could learn to be disciplined. But what else do you learn? What do you learn for when he's not around? What do you learn if you busted a vase and you know that he's going to flip out if you broke the rules or you broke something? Well, somebody said you learn to lie. I said, that's absolutely right, because you don't feel safe. So you learn how to lie to protect yourself. What else? What else you learn with that kind of father who's so strict? Another kid yells out, rebellious. You become rebellious. Remember, these are kids, a big significant percentage are on probation. You get rebellious.